This PowerPoint is designed to give you an overview of global business. We'll discuss what global business is, and what I would like you to understand is why global business is so important. If you look around in businesses today, if you pick any business, almost every business is working somehow globally or internationally. And I'm sure that as you complete this course and get into the workforce, you're going to need the global skills that are necessary for that business. I talk to business owners and employees or HR offices all the time, and what they're looking for in graduates of our colleges and universities is for students who can work with people from other countries, who understand what culture is all about, who understand that there's cultural differences in communication, and are able to work in that matter. And that's why this course is very important to the development of your skills as a potential employee in working with businesses from all over the world. Through this video and also through the first chapter you'll read in the Griffin and Puste chapter that's included in this section, you'll learn some common vocabulary for global business and some terms that you need to know. We'll identify and describe some forms of international business activities, and we'll talk a little bit about that big word, globalization, and what causes it. Globalization is something that's happening all the time. It's often referred to as, McDonald's is found in every country, Starbucks is found in every country, and people's tastes are changing to adapt. This may be true, but also people are holding on to their cultural backgrounds, and at times businesses have to adapt to the local cultures in order to be successful. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about globalization. We'll talk about how globalization impacts how businesses operate in different environments. Global business can be defined as business transactions between people and organizations from more than one country. So whether it's private individuals or individual companies or government agencies, organizations that have to cross borders, whether it be virtually or in person, to do their business. What makes global business different from other businesses? Basically operating in a different culture, having a different legal system, having to learn about currency conversion. There's a different money in Brazil. They have reais. In Japan, they have yen. In the US, they have US dollars. In Australia, they have Australian dollars. And to do business across borders, you have to be able to convert those currencies and understand the impact of that on your business. There are costs involved. And then availability of resources. So why do we study global business? Cultural literacy, cultural competency. Business owners and CEOs of major corporations are looking for employees that are culturally literate. Now, what does that mean? That means that you know how to learn about culture. And in this course, we're going to spend a lot of time understanding how to learn about culture, how to understand the components of culture. That's cultural literacy, and it's something that needs to be practiced, and we are going to practice it in this course through our readings and through the project that you're going to be doing. You're going to be learning about another culture, understanding what components you have to learn in order to understand that culture. International business activities. We need to be able to understand what exporting is versus importing. Exporting is selling of products made in our own home country to resell in other countries, and importing is buying products made in other countries for use or resell in our own country. Multinational corporations are what you typically hear about in terms of global business. They engage in foreign direct investment, own and control foreign assets. They buy resources in many countries, and they create and sell goods and services in many countries. Some examples would be Walmart, Toyota, General Motors. I'm sure you can think of many other examples of multinational corporations which engage in business across borders. Gross domestic product is a concept that you need to be familiar with when you're working globally. Gross domestic product is basically the total market value of all goods and services produced in a country in a given time period. This graph here shows the U.S. gross domestic product from 2000 Q1 to 2011 Q3. And it's clear from that dip, if you remember, that's when we went into a recession. And in the times of the recession, usually your total market value of all goods, oops, sorry about that. Would go down. So take some time to look on the internet, read more about gross domestic product so that you can understand its impact on global business. It's important also to understand the large organizations that impact the world economy. There's the IMF and the World Bank that are important players in that, and you can read on these links about those. And I just thought this was a funny cartoon that talks about the problems of globalization illustrated. This guy here is saying, "We got these cool hats at Nike Town in Paris, and this great shirt at the Disney store in London. After a great dinner at McDonald's in Rome, we found these neat shorts at the Gap." So these are some examples of multinational companies and how people are able to access similar products across borders around the world.